SL and WSTU is strictly prohibited. And now, welcome to my Dream Home Radio Show, your chance to find your dream home. And your hosts, Eileen Simons and Paula Brady.
Yep, and that is for sure. We own what we say on this show.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
It's all yours.
So, this is a call-in show. If you'd like to discuss any real estate issues, you have questions, just give us a call here at the station, 772-340-1590. Hello to Fort Pierce, Fort St. Lucie, Stewart, Hope Sound. I think we do reach into Vero also a little bit.
You bet. Yeah. From Palm Bay
Okeechobee,
to the Palm Beaches.
Palm Bay to the Palm Beaches.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I go south, I can hear you into Palm Beach Gardens.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And of course, goodness knows through TuneIn how many foreign countries are
Oh,
listening
yes.
to us now.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And ironically, a lot of interest from the Scandinavian countries.
Is that right?
So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, come
yeah.
on over. It's warm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a little bit warmer than
Yeah.
it is in,
Yeah, really.
in Scandinavia right
Of course,
Maybe
I
not
hear
have the
that a
beautiful
lot of
views.
Europe is getting colder weather now than they used
Oh,
to.
they've had a really bad storms late
Oh, yeah,
recently.
yeah.
France,
Yeah.
France
Yeah.
is getting a lot of snow.
Yeah. Really, really cold over there right now. I said, but so come on over. We're warm.
Yeah.
We may not have the beautiful, well, we have pretty views, but not mountainous pretty views. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think the biggest hill we have is the bridge over the intercoastal.
Eh.
but other than-
yeah, that's it.
I saw a bumper sticker on a truck the other day that said Florida's closed. And I thought, boy, that's really unrealistic.
yeah, I don't think that's happening. No.
No. It's so funny. We were and Brightline is working on the
I saw
tracks.
I was in downtown Stewart the other day at lunchtime and saw a Bright Line train come through.
Did you
Yeah,
really?
well,
Oh, I
and,
haven't seen
Yep.
that.
and they're working on crossings. So
Right.
Jensen
Jensen
Beach
Beach
is
is
closed.
closed right now.
So,
Yep.
and yesterday, of course, you have to go to Jensen Beach to get over to the beach area. And
Well,
you
there's
know,
roundabout ways too.
There are. You can go through Fort
Longer.
Pierce
Yeah,
and-
but that's
and do
okay.
that.
Yeah.
But we were just lollygagging along, trying to go to the beach, and then you see this massive traffic jam by Jensen Beach Boulevard.
Yeah.
And you see detour signs everywhere, and then you realize, okay, they got up to here. So anyway, and when we crossed on, wasn't Midway, it was
Walton.
Walton Road.
Yeah. They've done it already.
They were working on
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there must have been 30 guys
Up there.
at that location.
Oh, see,
it
I
was
thought
like,
they had
okay.
already closed it and done the majority of the work on it.
I
up
think they
there.
have,
Yeah.
but they were doing more
Extra
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
For the
yeah.
second track. And yeah,
Wow.
it's a reality, and
The-
see how it goes.
People better pay attention to those crossing
Yes, that's
things, though.
Yes,
Oh my
really.
gosh, they've had so many issues with them down south. People
Already,
just
yes.
think they're going to go through.
but this is basic stuff that when we started driving,
Yeah,
if a train
rail
the barrier,
guard
is
rail or whatever.
down.
Yeah,
you stop.
I think you're being very naive.
I may be. I mean,
People think that they can do whatever they want to on the roads now. My
you
lane,
may be right.
I
You may be
stopped.
right.
I stopped because the light was turning red. Yes, this is yesterday coming up Federal Highway. I stopped and the guy 2 lanes over stopped. This truck, at least 5 cars behind us, came barreling up and right through the red light. I see it all the time now. I can only hope that those cameras really do take their picture and they get mailed a ticket. I can only hope that that's really what happens.
I'm not
Because
even
there aren't
sure they're
enough
doing
police
that
around to
I
stuff.
don't
stop
think
them.
they are
Yeah.
either.
No,
Yeah,
there
they're not
aren't.
doing it.
There
Mm-mm.
aren't.
Well,
Yeah.
if they're not, they should be.
You know what
Yeah.
really gets me? I know it's stupid, but
And then they blame somebody else for it.
3 lanes of traffic on the highway. You've got a fast lane. Someone's sitting out there, and everybody wants to go clear over to the right-hand lane to pass. Where did you learn to drive? Nobody taught me that that's what you were supposed to do. You are not supposed to pass on the right.
Oh, they
don't
do it
drive,
all the
don't
time.
drive in the bike lane, please.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's frustrating. I wish people would pay attention to the laws, because, and then they wonder why they get hit or get in a traffic or an accident. And you see them constantly, accidents everywhere.
Well, and Carol and I learned our lesson when she started in Boston.
Oh boy.
And we were there for about a year and a half, I guess. And we had just gotten into town, and red light.
Right.
So obviously we're crazy Californians. We're stopped. Well, there's a police car behind us. He hit his horn. He didn't have lights on or anything like that. I'm sorry, red's just a caution light.
Yeah.
And he went around us.
Are you kidding?
No. And he must have been going to a donut shop or something.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
I see it all the time.
Oh,
It
boy.
just,
It's frustrating.
anyway.
So
Yeah.
what's happening in the world of real estate?
Well, we don't have a guest today, but we have a lot of things to talk about.
There you go.
So first of all, I want to remind everybody that our team is growing. Whether you are a seasoned agent or you're a new agent and you want to be trained, and you're interested in working on our team, then call us, text us, whatever you want to do. You can email us, 772-200-5105. If you've been in the business a long time and you're thinking about retirement, then call us also, because we have a program that can help you transition into your retirement.
Right.
Because unfortunately, the nature of the real estate business for real estate agents, most of them anyway, is, we work strictly on commission. We don't get a regular paycheck. And lots of times people don't think about those retirement issues early enough to start some kind of program for themselves. So they end up just walking away from the business that they spent maybe 20 or 30 years working every day of their lives to build up, and they don't have a whole lot to show for it. And as we talked before the show today, with the cost of things going up,
Oh my goodness.
it's just getting ridiculous.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely ridiculous. Not only in the grocery store,
The
not only
pump,
at the gas
pump. Oh my
gas
God.
pump, but all of your utilities. Just think about the people who have to heat their places in the wintertime because it's so cold. I mean, those are oil prices, or those are electric prices that,
Gas or whatever.
Yep.
Natural gas. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
remember January was a pretty
Cold
good
for us
chunk
here.
of price
We had a-
increase for FPL too.
oh yeah, yes.
That's
yeah.
why we saw all those FPL commercials. Oh, we're so nice. Yeah, wait till January.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's
yeah.
why I don't watch TV.
oh
I just-
boy.
The bottom line is that it always falls on the consumer.
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
So
It
it's not
does,
just
yeah.
it's not just the housing prices. It's everything that we have to do every day is
Yeah.
going up in price. And I do have some information today that talks about that as far as the real estate industry is concerned. I just wanted to make sure we put our invitation out there. So 772-200-5105. Again, if you want to call the show, that's 340-1590. 1590. And you can also email us at mydreamhometeam@yahoo.com.
Good. And I got over the weekend a weird text from San Francisco and wanting to buy our house.
Yep.
Some weird email. I mean, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, she's got
Oh,
an article.
She's
Yeah.
got,
You got to be
uh-oh.
real careful who you talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think this especially is pertinent for Florida because we traditionally have had a large percentage of our homeowners have been from out of the country.
Oh yeah.
So we're just kind of, working in the business,
Or
we're
from
kind
other
of used
states
to
as
it.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a warning that was put out by our broker, that talks about the fact of all of these bad people who are claiming to be an out of country owner that really aren't.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, yes. And they can, it talks about the fact that they provide driver's licenses, passports, whatever documentation is requested, but they're not the real owner.
It's all forged?
It's all
Yeah.
forged. It's
I mean,
fraud.
surely
Yeah.
you've seen these commercials I'm going to say over the past couple of years, that these companies that will check your titles, because they're even now that titles are on, or I should say deeds basically are online, they're stealing those and changing them too.
Oh, brother. I didn't know that.
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
be real careful who
Oh,
you give
yeah.
your information to.
Oh,
Yeah.
brother.
Right.
Wow.
Not just wire fraud anymore. It's everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It says that they do their research. They know the area. They say the right things. They do their research on the property. So you think that they really are the owner. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's sad.
So many bad people in the world. So many bad people.
Wow.
You'd think if they were going to do all that work, they'd actually become a realtor so that they could.
Oh no, they have to work honestly that way.
I know that's sad though, but
And their commissions are too low.
yeah. Well, true. There you go.
And I might add, getting lower.
Yeah.
I bet you if anybody did some kind of research throughout the country, they'd find that realtors' commissions are lower now than they ever are. I'll use a perfect example. This was a call in to the show one week. And then a couple of weeks later, he called me and said, listen, I have a house I'm going to put on the market. And so how much commission are you going to charge me? So I said to him, if you are a loyal listener, I'm certainly willing to make you a good deal on the commission. Well, I already have this guy that's been working a while, so I'm going to go back and see if he won't give me the same thing. I mean, that's what we deal with
no.
every day.
Yeah.
That is what we deal with every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
The owner always thinks they know better,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
or they can do better. And of course, when inventory gets tight like it is now, so many, you see all these signs popping up for sale by owner that you didn't see before when there was a lot of inventory on the market, because of the nature of the market right now.
Right. Yeah.
But what those unsuspecting buyers don't know is if they're not working with a realtor, they don't know the questions to ask half the time of that seller, who is maybe telling them something that
Isn't correct.
right.
Well, yeah. It happened in our family
Really?
when our kids left to go to California. And they decided, well, because there were some St. A's parents who were realtors, and the commissions would just be too high, so they sold the house themselves. Well, they just took a beating,
Oh,
big time.
wow. That's a shame.
They sold it, but it took
Not
a
for
long
what they
time
thought they
and
were going to get.
nowhere close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, kids,
Lesson learned.
kids, you learn the hard
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's we
Well.
told you, we told you, we told you. And the thing is, they had some good friends that were realtors as well. And still
They didn't.
they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, please.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah. You
And-
cut off your nose to, what's that old
Spite
saying?
your face,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cut off your nose
Yeah.
to spite
Yeah.
your
Well,
face.
and
Right.
now years later, they still talk about that. experience.
Do they
So
really?
it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Well, they learned
What a
something.
lesson
didn't
learned,
they?
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a shame.
Unbelievable.
That's a
Unbelievable.
shame.
Yeah.
So let's go on to something a little more happy and interesting.
There you go.
So everybody knows that the world changed when COVID hit. Not only
Oh, I never
health-wise,
noticed.
not
Oh.
only health-wise, but as far as our residences too. That kind of was the catalyst that made everybody either take a look at where they lived or gave them the ability to change where they lived because they didn't have to be so close to work anymore. Well, according to the information that I have been reading lately, that is not going to stop anytime soon. This statistic, actually, there are two statistics on here. One article that I wrote says nearly 1/3, 32% of home buyers say they want to relocate in the next year. And then another statistic I wrote that said more than 50% of prospective buyers felt optimistic about buying a home in the next 3 months in a different area. In a different area.
So
That's the significant part of it.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, we were, like I say, we were out and about, and, you know, I guess we've always, since we got here almost 30 years ago now, dreamed of being on the beach. But, you know, there's something special about St. Lucie West, you know, that wasn't totally clear cutted, which I love tradition, but it was.
yeah,
I mean, all the trees.
gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
And that's where St. Lucie West didn't do that,
yeah.
you know, and there are a lot of areas that
Haven't done it completely.
Well, and I think that as people become more aware of what happens when you strip the land before you build a community in it, it takes 20 years for a lot of that to regrow again.
You bet.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why the Florida Club is so appealing to people, because they come in there and it's lush and it's beautiful
Gorgeous.
and
It's
it's
a park.
all grown up.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that happened about 20 years ago.
yeah.
So
I
yes,
remember
I
when
mean,
the
you can
ground was broken there. Yeah.
you can bring little trees in and you can plant little trees, but it's going to take them a long time to grow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Florida, they grow a lot faster than other places. I
Yeah,
mean,
but still.
but it still takes a long time.
Sure.
I mean, we have trees in our neighborhood that are 15, 20 years old now, but they weren't there when the houses were built, you know, so
Right.
it
So
does
I
take a
think the
long
good
time.
thing is that developers are learning that they can still build their communities without taking all of that landscape out at first.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's,
I think that's a good thing.
It is. Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I had to bring this up. This is an article from December that I talked a little bit about in December, and it talks about the fact that the first question on here is, they say, if you love what you do, you won't work a day of your life. But what if you live where you vacation? Does that make every day a holiday?
Ooh, I like that.
So that's
like
where
a
a
good
lot of
idea,
people
but-
are nowadays. They
Yeah.
can work remotely, so they're living where they really want to live. And I think another part of this transientness over the last couple of years is bringing a lot of people back to their families.
That's true.
I see it down here. You know, somebody will discover the Treasure Coast and they'll move down here, and then they end up telling their
The whole
neighbors,
family comes
telling
down.
their
Yeah.
relatives,
All right.
and you end up with the whole neighborhood down here in a relatively maybe quarter-mile area if they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
happening a lot.
Our neighborhood, we had a fellow from New York City come down, and he's 2 houses down from us. His daughter bought a house just like 4 houses up. And in another case, our neighbor on the other side, her mom bought on the other side of the neighborhood. And it's like, okay, this is amazing. They're all from New York. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, not all New York City, but
Yeah.
New York
Didn't
Yeah.
you say one time that someone asked you to sell your house because they had family that wanted to
Well,
live near them?
Yeah, the fellow did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 That happens a lot.
Oh, especially by us. I
Yeah.
mean, I always joke and say, our neighborhood is New York with palm trees, but it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this article goes on to say that the trend, which has long-term implications, which it really does, long-term implications for the industry at large, as far as housing industry, as well as revealing a bevy of new disparate challenges in seasonal cities from coast to coast. And we see it here every year that I have, and I said that every year that I have worked here in Florida. Season goes on longer than it did the year before.
Yeah.
So we are not just a seasonal community of retirees anymore.
No.
We have multiple generations living on the same street, living in the same area, and that requires different services than you had before. In Palm Springs, California, there was a broker out there that they talked to, who's been there for a long time. And he said that he sees a roughly 10% shift in the proportion of people who live year round in the desert community of Palm Springs, which I'm not surprised a bit about. And I'm
No.
sure it's a bigger percentage here also. This article goes on to talk about, I forgot to highlight it, so I don't know if I can, maybe I'll find it on other ones. Anyway, so life as we know it, the big picture is more about demographics and how they fit into the inherent structure or the environment of a given place. Big Sky, with its heavy snowfalls and relatively isolated location, is now becoming a permanent community.
You bet.
You know,
I'm going to sound crazy, but where's Big Sky?
Well,
I don't
it
know
would
it.
be Montana.
Oh, is it? Oh,
upper
okay. I
parts of
got you. That area
Utah.
up there. Oh, yeah.
Idaho.
That's definitely
I-
been a growth area.
Well, I think I told you guys about this assistant coach at College of Southern Idaho, who now he just emailed me. He now has 6 homes.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And he's he's
he
renting
just
those
likes
out.
to move around.
He's
He's renting them. Okay.
fixes
In
them
that
up,
area. Yeah.
And then and each one of those, each one for the last 2 years has gone up $150,000.
Wow.
value.
In
And
value.
they're all
Yeah.
Californians. Every single resident is a Californian buyer,
Yep.
either buying or renting. those
Renting.
homes.
Isn't
Right.
that- Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. It's yeah. I mean, you normally think of the Big Sky and you think, okay, ski resorts, stuff like that.
A lot
Hey,
of space, but
no
not,
longer.
not.
See,
not
those
real-
are becoming
Yeah.
full-time homes now.
Yeah.
But see that, okay, you've got the other issue, schools.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, you know,
I mean, that's
Infrastructure?
what I mean.
Yeah.
infrastructure. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's there, and they're probably not prepared for it because they never expected it to grow that quickly. The last
Yes.
couple of years, it's just been just a boom of growing, so it's a lot of pains getting all that done, but beautiful place to live, I would think. A little
Yeah.
chilly for me, but
Our outlaws live in Spokane.
Okay.
So Carol sent them a New York Times article on what's happening in Spokane now. Same thing here as here. And the house prices are
skyrocketing. Yeah.
skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are tech people from Seattle. And again, as you discussed, working remotely.
Yes.
And they want to get closer to the mountains.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
They moved to Spokane.
And further away from the traffic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have our grandson's wife is with a new tech company in Spokane, first job out of college.
In that.
And she's major 6 figures.
Wow. Good. Well, good for
And
her.
she didn't have to leave town.
That's amazing. Good for them.
I know. But I mean, you think, okay. So
Yeah. What about all the people who don't make money like that.
Oh, I know. Well,
You know?
we discussed that out in the lobby too.
Yeah.
How in the world do they exist?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So to continue this discussion, and there are so many factors that come into play when people start relocating to different parts of the country. It just becomes a big, huge snowball. One thing affects the other, and it affects another, and it affects another. So all of these articles basically that I brought to talk about today are a different factor that's affecting the whole inventory issue that we are experiencing, not only on the Treasure Coast, but everywhere in the country.
Right.
Some people like to write articles about it being doom and gloom. Well, I think all that does is create,
It's news.
Doom and gloom.
yeah,
Yeah.
create doom and gloom when there really isn't. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to find a way to make it work, you can figure out a way to make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
So this article goes on to say that this is why so many people are thinking about moving. Remote work policies, new job opportunities, ongoing shortages of affordable housing will keep Americans moving for the next while.
Yeah.
I heard something over the weekend, they may not even raise interest rates in 2 weeks like they were talking about doing.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Me either.
Yep, I
Whoa.
did. Yeah.
I haven't been focused, but that's another
Yeah. Well,
issue.
you have other things
Yeah,
going
that's
on.
another
So,
issue. Yeah.
Let me come back to this. In a separate consumer survey, a lot of people found that they are thinking about moving because they are optimistic about buying now as opposed to waiting.
Right.
Well, yeah.
People who talk about this being a housing bubble, this is not a housing bubble. I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not a housing bubble. It may be in some areas, but overall, I don't think so. Unless they continue to screw up our economy and our economy tanks again, I don't see prices going up 30% a year like they did, but I don't see them going down either. I think they're where they are to stay.
I got you. Yeah. No, I agree.
And especially since there are so many, it was like people with big money, they took their money and they invested in a lot of different things before. They invested in high rises, in apartment buildings, in big, huge apartment complexes, those kinds of things. Well, those people are taking their money investing in single family homes now, which is part of the reason why it's becoming more difficult for the average family or individual consumer to make a purchase on a home, because with so much competition and buyers, that also is pushing the price of the homes up. I drove past a brand new house under construction today that has a for rent sign in front of it. Now,
Already?
that's an iBuyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's a huge combination of everybody wanting to live in a better place than they live right now, having the ability to do that, and seeing the future of the prices not going down. So they're trying to make the decision now. And what they're doing is, this is another article here that talks about the fact millennial demand is driving up prices in family-friendly neighborhoods.
Which Port St. Lucie is.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
that's part of why affordable housing is becoming less affordable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to recognize that fact.
Yeah.
That, when it's all supply and demand. It no different than our economy has been for how long now? If
Forever.
there isn't a supply, but there is a demand, it's going to cost more.
Right.
If there is no demand,
And a
then
surplus.
the cost and the supply, then the cost will come down.
Sure, sure.
You know, if you have 100 homes here and you have 500 people competing for those 100 homes, they're going to be pushing those prices up. Not to mention the fact that everything it takes to build or maintain a home now costs more.
Right.
But if you have that same 100 homes and you only have 75 people or families competing to buy those homes, well, you're going to be looking for buyers if you don't have your home in absolutely great condition.
Sure.
Right.
So it's just, I don't think it's that difficult to figure out. And I think that sometimes they write articles just to make it seem more difficult than it really is.
And I think the key always comes down to get a local realtor who knows the territory and just knows the local environment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that
Very
brings
helpful.
up another huge issue that we'll talk about another time, but a lot of, I don't want to get into that conversation. There are a lot of seasoned agents, good, local, honest, seasoned agents that are losing business to people that think the real estate industry is where they should be because they don't want to have a 9-to-5 job anymore. And so they get their real estate license and
That's me.
they bring their
Oh.
family and friends down. And so, you know, it's a big vicious circle. I happened to have toured a new community recently with new owners who have very high hopes for that community, and they want to make it the premier place on the Treasure Coast, which is wonderful. But the first 5 houses that sold in that community, they sold to family and friends to bring them down to Florida. So,
And
Uh-oh.
hopefully
know?
their other friends, their family's friends will come down because
You know?
otherwise,
Well, hopefully the family isn't the Hatfield and the McCoys.
yeah, there you go.
well, that brings up another whole issue.
Oh,
Leave your attitudes back where they came
no.
from.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You're
yeah.
not in Kansas
This
anymore.
is casual, comfortable.
Trying to be relaxed.
Communicative. That's not the word I'm looking for. What? Be nice.
Yeah, be nice. Yeah.
Be nice.
There you go. That's it.
That's the way Florida is. Be
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I
You-
like that. I
It's a
like
nice,
that.
comfortable, relaxed, casual
You don't
environment.
have to be the first person in line. You're going to get there. You know, you
What?
exactly. Those are things that drive me crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
yeah.
So let me read a little bit about this millennial demand. The top 10% of zip codes with the largest share of children in each county was analyzed and saw an average of over 21% growth from October 2020 to October 2021. 21% growth.
Wow.
Yes.
They're coming from everywhere.
Just think of what that does to competition as far as buyers are concerned.
And the
Yeah.
news networks were saying millennials aren't buying.
Oh, they are.
They are.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
Gee, they got it wrong again.
They are
Yeah.
buying wherever they can afford to buy.
Right.
They may not be buying traditionally in the same neighborhoods they were buying before. Just
Oh,
like down
okay.
here,
Yeah, I
you
got
know,
you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
now you have multiple generations living in the same area where before you had retired grandparents living on the Treasure Coast and family coming to visit for the winter, or they would go and visit family in the summer. Well, now you've brought all of those generations together in the same area.
Yeah, the neighborhoods change. My neighborhood, I've noticed actually, when we first moved there, it was mostly retirees. There are a lot of families now with children, and you know, kids, people that are just getting started, strollers. You know, we
Yep.
didn't see a stroller when we first moved there. Now there are people with strollers. So they're having small children and not just school age kids. So
Yes. And
it's
there are a
changing
lot of
lot.
neighborhoods also, which people took the assumption before that they were 55 and over communities, but they really weren't.
No,
So now that people are asking that question more often, they're finding that they can go to those communities that they
Right.
thought were 55 and over because they're really not. And
yeah.
they're bringing their children in.
If
Yeah.
there was a stroller
I
before,
see a
it
stroller
usually
walk
had-
past the office almost every day now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna say in my neighborhood, the stroller, if you saw it, had a dog in it, not a baby.
There are some of those too. Yes,
There are
there are.
those
There
too.
are some of those too.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
we love this guy when we go walking in St. Lucie West, and he's got a golf cart, and his poor little poodle is running like
Beside him.
all hell and
Oh.
gone next to stay up with the golf
Wow.
cart.
Oh, you
That
gotta
poor
slow it
little
down a
dog-
little
poor
bit.
little dog. Oh,
Yeah.
I see that also.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's
Oh my.
It's one thing to take your dog for a stroll, but not to a marathon is not so, not that good for a poodle probably. But-
No, but I mean, maybe it wouldn't hurt you to be walking with the dog instead of riding in the golf cart.
Oh, there
Is
you
that what you're
go.
saying?
That's some judgment.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
He
think
was
we all
slightly
think that was-
overweight now that I think about it. That's-
Okay,
yeah.
this
Not
is
the dog either.
yeah. Here's some more proof that this mass moving around throughout the country is here to stay and continuing. This article, more bidding wars arose in January than any other time during COVID. That's
Yeah.
this January,
Yeah.
not
yeah,
last January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A month ago.
Yes, as
Yeah.
many as 80% of homes that are on the market are having competing bids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Eight-
that in itself,
8-0.
8
Oh,
8-0.
gosh.
that in
Wow.
itself will raise prices.
prices. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it has gotten so prevalent in Florida that our Florida realtor attorneys have written an escalation clause for us.
It's kind of.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and these are January numbers. So as many as and one report that I read said 67.1%. Another report that I read said as many as 80% of homes on the market in the month of January across the country have had multiple bids.
But think about it this way. Now, both of you guys' parents, how long did they stay in their homes?
Yeah, my parents
Forever.
throughout my parents only moved 3 times. Actually, they moved 2 times. They started out in a family 4-flat when they got married. So they lived in that family 4-flat. I was born 2 years after they got married. And so we were there 4 years after that. We moved to our first single family home when I was 6 years old, and they paid $23,000 for that house, which was a heck of a lot of money then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And they stayed in that house. They raised their family in that house. I was married and gone. My brothers are younger than me, so they were both still at home with my parents. When my youngest brother went to high school, they sold that house and moved further out to be in a different school system for him. And that was their second move.
Yeah. My folks started out in a small trailer behind my grandparents' house for a very short time. And then they were in a small apartment when my brother was born. And then they owned the home that I grew up in until I was probably 5th grade. And my mom still owns the house for the rest of the time, but 40, 50 years
Yep.
in one place.
But see, yeah.
And it just doesn't happen now. Actually before COVID, the average had gone, I'm going to say when I first got into the industry, Many years ago, the average was only like 5 years, 5 to 6 years you
Yeah.
stayed in your house. And then, well, and then the average went up a little bit. As far as I know, before COVID, it was closer to like 7 years. Maybe
Yeah.
you were staying in your house for an average. This is average across the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Average of 7 years. Well, now I'm sure that's dropping back down again.
Yeah.
Well, I just think, two of us have had what, 3 coast to coast moves. Then if you want to call them shorter moves from Tucson to San Diego, yeah, and then San Diego to LA and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jobs make a big difference with that kind of stuff. But the thing is, when I was growing up, even a lot of people that I went to school with are still in my hometown. I was kind of the oddball, which I still am.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to leave. I
Yeah.
didn't want to stay
Well,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
and
And I
so
was, and I
came to
was,
Florida
I mean, my family was not happy
when
when
you
I
left.
left Ohio.
Really?
Not at all. And I, a lot of, not only do I have the core of my family, of course, in the Cincinnati area, but kids that I grew up with, we still stay in touch.
Yeah.
So, and the funny thing is that maybe they left for work or whatever,
They're
but at
back.
some point they make their way back home again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Yep.
so it's different. I think that my generation left home once you got schooling and so forth. You left home to go to your job. I took my first job in South Florida, and then after I met my husband, we ended up up north for 25 years, but that was Baltimore. I didn't go home. I just went to a different area, but up north, and now we're back down to Florida. So
But yeah, and home was, this is home for your husband.
this is home for him. Yeah, he came back to South Florida where his family is, his brother and his parents, but they both have passed since we've been here. But and my mom came with us, so she left Missouri because there was no one left in Missouri.
Right.
Yeah, so brothers went to Arizona and I went to Florida and Maryland. So she came to us in Maryland, and she's still with us here. So
And I think
it's-
mobility has a lot to do with the fact that people don't stay in their homes as long as they
long.
used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably right. I mean, I think of myself. I mean, once I got out of college, I mean,
Gone.
I
Yeah.
was gone,
Yeah. So it's a
So-
different.
Came home to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My parents stayed
Yep.
very near their parents, though. They stayed in where they grew up. My dad grew up in Missouri on a farm. My mom did the same. She went to St. Joe to get into nurses training, but then she lived within an hour of St. Joe the rest
Sure.
of her life. you
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's-
and my mom was born in Hollywood, California, and basically lived in Los Angeles her
Her whole
entire
life.
life.
Yep.
Yeah.
While we're hopscotching all over the country. Yeah, she just stayed there.
It's-
Well, and she had a job. She worked for Sears. She was in the CPA accounting department.
Hey, my
And-
mom worked for Sears in the accounting
She was
department
there
too.
40 years.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
retired there.
Yeah.
And so, it's different how
A different attitude toward,
other generations
right. Yeah.
Yes.
looked at it.
Yeah.
Well, and with the birth of the internet, I mean, and now we can talk face to face with people on our phone even.
Right,
So
right. And be completely across the country or even across the world. So
yes.
it's a whole different.
I mean, it used to be you went to Europe, you had to have a different phone or you had to have something different on your phone to do that. I remember
anymore.
the first time I went to Europe, I had to get a different phone.
Really?
Yeah. But not anymore.
No.
It's
Yep.
amazing.
Life changes.
So there are parts of the world that are getting smaller. I guess that's why they're looking at Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. We got about 9 minutes
I
left.
know. Paula brought some listings.
I have a few listings here. We'll start in the Palm City area. Actually, I only have one from Palm City right now. Some Stewart's, Jensen, that kind of thing. We have a single family home. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, 2,510 square living feet. And they are asking $875. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2.5. It says 4.3, 2.5. So maybe there's extra
2.5 car
space in the garage. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. It's on a half an acre with a private preserved view.
And
in-
actually, sometimes I think that half of the garage is in the MLS, we're a little bit limited as to how we can describe things. Sometimes that ends up being a cart area in the garage.
Yeah, golf cart area. So sounds like a real nice home. Wood look floors, central vac, 2-zoned AC, 2 hot tankless water heaters. So not
Wow.
much that you need in that house.
2 hot tankless
Water heaters, yeah.
Wow.
So plenty of room to put a pool in if you want one. So you've 4-bedroom, 3-bath. If you need a home with some extra bedrooms and baths, this would be great. It's in Palm City. 875,000 is what they're asking. And then we have a townhome in Stewart. It's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,627 square living feet. It has 2 en-suites, laundry in the home, eating kitchen, garage, formal dining. Sounds like a very nice house. They're asking 312,000 for that home. Then we're in Stewart again, and this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, single-family home. It has a pool. I'm trying to read quickly because I didn't get all of this highlighted. I'm sorry. It sounds like a very pretty house. 750,000 they're asking for that.
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yes, ma'am.
One statistic that I meant to talk about at the beginning of the show and I forgot to. I pulled up single family homes in Martin County this week. I had to do it for a buyer. I was shaking my head. And the reason I bring this up is people need to be prepared. When they want to come here and they don't know the area that well, and they come to you and they say, I want to live in Stewart, which is pretty typical when you are coming to the Treasure Coast,
Yeah.
I pulled up single family homes in Martin County. No price restriction. There were 81 single family homes in Martin County, and this was on Thursday, that were available in the whole county. Yes,
The whole county.
the whole county. Half of them, so we're talking 40, half of them were over $1 million.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's hope for my little cottage. Come on, baby. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's,
Hardly.
I mean, the people I think are going on prices sometimes that they've heard or that was when they came to visit a year or 2 ago. Not
they
the
just
same.
don't exist.
Not the same.
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
It's not what you call cheap.
Well, and just our
But
little neck of the woods.
it's
is
anywhere,
like-
though.
it's-
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's our little homes have gone up almost 70,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. And
Of course, then you see one on the one for sale that is up over 200%. I got news for you. Don't pay that much for it.
yeah. Yeah.
Nothing has gone up over 200%.
No. And everybody's happy. I can't say that I'm not happy that the prices have gone up in my neighborhood. Obviously, it helps my home. But if I had to go buy somewhere else, I'd be in trouble.
Well, and we've had this conversation a million times.
Yeah.
You know, if Carol and I were to go somewhere else, where do we go?
Right.
And what could we possibly afford?
That's
Right.
a very common conversation these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're still in our spot. We're going to be in our
Yeah,
spot for a
that's-
while.
that-
That's
us-
okay. We're in
believe me,
paradise.
Us too.
Yeah, we are in paradise.
We
That's
are.
right.
We
Can't
are
The
in
sun
complain.
comes out almost every day.
Yeah.
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 Oh boy.
Okay. Do you have one more?
Okay, let's see. We have a single family home in Jensen. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,734 square feet. It's a 3-2-2 pool home on 1/3 of an acre, and they are asking 549 $999.
That'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, it will. It sounds like a beautiful
You printed
home.
these out last night,
I
right?
did.
Yeah, it'll be gone tomorrow.
So
Oh gosh.
hurry,
Yeah.
hurry on down.
Give her a call right away.
Yeah.
200-5105.
Yep.
But let us know if you're looking. We'll be glad to help you find whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
So just quickly, I thought this was kind of interesting, and this is brand new, hot off the presses information, published by National Association of Realtors. Costly estates to maintain homes. Home costs are rising, as are the costs of maintaining a home. 63% of Americans say they felt sticker shock when obtaining home repair estimates,
Yeah.
according to a new survey. This is very true. Roof repairs and appliance fixes are the most common home maintenance projects, the study finds. I'm not really putting a plug in for any company, but especially for people who are alone and can't maintain those kinds of things by themselves, when you're buying, and you don't even have to be buying, but there are home warranty companies out there that offer programs that can cover either some of the things in your home or all of the things in your home. I think even some utility companies offer programs that do that.
They do. Yeah.
So it's certainly, if I was living alone, it would be something that I would consider doing. When I lived alone before, I had a home warranty on my home.
Right.
So more than 40% of home maintenance repairs are due to normal wear and tear. Home maintenance costs Americans average over $3,000 a year.
Wow.
Over $3,000 a year. Texas is number 1. Florida's number 2. California's number 3. Illinois is number 4. Georgia is number 5. And there's a longer list,
Yeah.
Wow.
but we're out of time. So
Yeah.
we're out of time.
Oh my.
772-200-5105. You can call or text us on that number. You can also reach us through email at mydreamhometeam@yahoo.com.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Everybody
Well,
have
you
a good
both-
day.
Yep. Have a good week and a safe week out there. On the-
Yes.
You do the same.
roadways, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you do the same.
Yeah, we will too.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.
Yeah.
You've been listening to My Dream Home Radio right here on WPSL Global, WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart.